Welcome to the College of Wealth podcast, the ultimate financial guide to help you understand your financial stresses and how you can build from it. Your lessons won't be in class, and your projects can either save you or earn you money. We host episodes 2 times a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays to help you reach your financial freedom. Now let's get started with your hosts, Owen Parody and William Goulet.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. My name is Owen Parody. I am here with my co-host, William Goulet, and we're proud to present to you the College of Wealth podcast.
Podcast.
Oh, there's a lot of enthusiasm there. Very thorough with that. I like it.
Thank you. I'm energetic.
That's good. That's awesome. And you're going to need this for this podcast because this is a financial podcast that teaches you the latest and greatest information about money. Because at the end of the day, we like to say that this is a money-making world, a crazy money-making world for that fact.
Yeah, we didn't used to say that we shouldn't have said that it was crazy money-making world, but because it's always been a money-making world realistically. But
yes.
Crazy, it always seems like it's getting a little bit more crazy by the day. But you know what? We're always able to handle it just fine.
Yeah, I could not agree more with that there, Will. And that's actually just the reality of the nature of the beast with this. But we like to go and call it that here at the College of Wealth podcast and do a little bit of introductions in regards to the podcast because this is like we said, it's a financial podcast. And because of that, we like to go and say that it's meant for entertainment purposes only.
So, yes. So great point on the entertainment purposes. That sort of covers us, legally. But however, there's great information.
Yes.
Great information that's delivered throughout the podcast,
Yeah.
So I say, why rule it out? Why not just include it? So here's my pitch. Here's my spiel.
Okay.
We call this entertainment purposes as well as informational purposes. Now, instead of having 2 lines, let's just put them together. Infotainment. What do you think?
I like that. That's pretty good.
Hang
it's
on.
really good.
Let's keep it. From now on.
I like it because it's true. We do like to go and call it infotainment here at the College of Wealth podcast because at the end of the day, both Will nor myself are financial advisors.
Certainly not me anyways.
Me either. I'm definitely not. But,
sure.
but both Will and I graduated with bachelor's degrees in business and we work in business, in the business industry. I work in the finance industry, but I'm just saying this because we have a passion for this kind of stuff. And there's 2 big reasons why we like to go and do this podcast. Why is that, Will?
Yes, I have them and I haven't forgotten. It's because we like to make money. Or, in some cases, save it.
Yes. I like it. That was very well said. Very well said. It's true.
And not forgotten.
It's true. So without further ado, now that we got our introduction in place here, I got to go and jump right into episode 108. Wow. And we have nothing really special for episode 108 as a number other than the fact that it's 108.
Well, 108... No, not Dalmatians. You already did that. No, you're right. We just got to jump in. Okay, what do we got today?
You know, like the 8th sequel of 101 Dalmatians?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone just ends up figuring out that there's another dog that they miss.
Yeah, well, 7 more. Because was there truly
7
101?
more.
I don't know.
There was 102. I know there was 102 Dalmatian, but it's like all the reiterations that we had about Shrek and stuff like that. So we'd rather not talk about it.
Yeah. All right. What do we got? What's on the docket today?
So episode 108 is actually saving money. And actually, I'd like to go and give a little heads up. If you hear any background feedback here or anything like that, it's there's renovations going on in the building.
I don't know what you're talking about, Owen.
No, it's just there's unfortunately something I couldn't control. There's some construction going on in the building that I currently live in.
So be it.
But I have to go and jump in again. Episode 108 is what not to do during a recession.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Well, it seems like it's just around the corner. Stuff was coming out today. We're filming this on the Monday, the night before, right?
Yeah.
The release of the episode. And it's just coming out today that it seems like they're wanting to change the definition almost of recession, where they're saying, yeah, okay, fine, it has been 2 quarters, but it might not meet all the technical definitions. Oh, come on, really?
Yeah, they'll try and change the words all they want, but actually you're saying this perfectly, because there's a little fun fact I gotta go and add. It's in our stats section.
Okay. That
you're gonna like. I think it's hilarious in regards to it. We'll talk about that in a few seconds here.
Sure.
But we have this divided into 5 different sections plus the stats, like always.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about some of course. Plus, there are 5 different things that you shouldn't be doing when you are when we're in a recession.
Yes.
So our first stat, in this case, is a fun fact, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Do you know why the term recession was created?
Oh, it wasn't based on hairlines, was it?
No, it was not based on hairlines. But
I don't know. Fun fact, me, Owen.
The term Great Recession, or not recession, Great Recession, but the term recession was created after the Great Depression, because it was known as too scary. The term depression, the Great Depression was known as too scary. And what makes it funny is the term depression was put into place in replacement of the crisis or panic, because it was known as too scary if you spoke about crisis or panic.
Oh my goodness.
So in 100 years from now, it's going to be like the great neutral.
Yeah. The great time span within a given moment where you might need to be concerned about the economy and other things like GDP.
Yeah, just the great concern.
Yeah. And then it's the slight concern.
Yeah. Great is just too scary of a word, everyone.
And then it's just the slight. Okay, just don't panic. They're trying to dictate your emotions just a little bit.
So it ties in really well with what you're saying there. They're trying to, it's not technically a recession. And they're going to go and do everything they can to try and make sure they don't declare a recession in this case scenario, because they know that if they go and do that, it's going to cause a state of panic.
A state of panic, basically globally. And on top of that, we have the midterm elections coming up, and it never looks good.
Well, for America anyways.
Yeah,
for the United States.
Specifically for them.
Our second stat comes for Canadians here. What percentage of Canadians had an annual income over $100,000 or more, or more in 2019?
Oh man, 2019 percent.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go 4%.
Try 15.7.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Whoa. My goodness, I didn't know we were doing so good.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, the annual income for people is around 70,000 here in Canada.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't think. I think of 100,000 as a relatively high level. Hey,
but you also realize that the inflation, and I'm not just talking inflation, but salaries going up over years. $100,000 doesn't bring you as far as what it did beforehand.
No, fair enough. It's not the same as it was, but regardless, kudos Canada.
And I'm sure it's honestly, I would assume that in the United States it's even higher.
Yeah, I guess. No, I would assume it's less. Anyways.
Yeah, we could converse about this one here quite a long time.
Yeah.
But
or we could do a 10-minute pause and just Google it and get the answer.
Yeah,
that doesn't make for good podcast listening there.
So we're gonna go on the other side here. We were talking about of pay. And now we're going to talk about quitting work. The average employee exit costs what percentage of their annual salary?
Oh, wow. I'm going to say 40%. 40%
Good guess,
of their salary.
But it's 33%.
Oh, that's a pretty good guess. I'm pretty happy with that.
So basically, for anyone who, so basically, the cost of someone quitting will cost the company approximately 33% of the annual salary of that person to get someone new, whether it be looking for someone, hiring, training, everything like that will cost around. So if it's $100,000, it's going to cost them almost $33,000, either in lost wages or lost time as well.
And I guess it depends how customer facing they are as well. I'm sure someone who's very customer facing and takes a long time to train someone up to that level, then opportunity cost must be like through the roof, man.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's insane. And the last one is a little bit of a fun fact as well. This one I like, and I'm gonna ask you, Will. Do you know what the butter popcorn index is? There are many different types of indexes, but do you know what the butter popcorn index is?
Is it anything similar to the Big Mac index?
You know what? It actually is somewhat, but it's not. No.
Okay, no, I don't know what it is. You got to fill me in.
So we know that the Big Mac index is just the cost of a Big Mac on average with its price. Yeah. Well, the butter popcorn index basically has to indicate the sales of cinema tickets across the United States.
Oh,
so
okay.
When cinemas after the Great Recession, like in 2008, 2009, cinemas saw record sales.
Really?
And they started noticing a pattern that during recessions or during times of uncertainty, people were spending more on cinemas as a gateway to go out. If you think about it, going to the cinema,
affordable.
It's more affordable than going out to dinner or something like that, or going on an expensive. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a lot more. Like, I mean, although you're spending $20 for a bag of popcorn, really, it's still cheaper than buying that $20 beer.
You know, I want to add another fun fact too. A little wet finger in the air. Do you know another way that they gauge how the economy is doing? They'll ask women who work at a gentleman's club.
Okay.
And according to their tips, they get to gauge how the economy is. So
a few
months ago, there were many women who worked at a gentleman's club, and they're saying, no, we're definitely going in a recession. I can tell. Everything's going down. So that's another way that they a strip club, right?
Yes.
So
I like that.
That's another good way of gauging.
I love it. It's hilarious. Yeah. I never really thought of it, but it's a good point to bring up there.
They know before anyone else. That's the rumor.
Yeah, that's true. So in this case here, for the butter popcorn index is just people spend more on the cinemas during troublesome times or when it's about to become troublesome. So it's a preemptive.
You may have to review our portfolio there, Owen, no? AMC, anyone?
Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, exactly. So hopping into our first thing that you shouldn't do during a recession, and I think this is the most important thing that you should not do, I should say.
Okay.
So stop investing.
Oh, yeah. No, true. And that's so tempting, isn't it?
It is. Oh my gosh. I've been seeing my portfolio go down. And I'm like, but wait a year, wait 2 years, wait 5 years. And you put that money down. And that's what I was going to say. Actually, I'm going to speak more about it. But the average bear market is 418 days.
Okay.
According to Enterprise Financial. So a little bit over a year.
Yeah.
And bear market is just a quarter, just not seeing a lot of growth. Sometimes even decline.
Yeah. It's pessimistic, forward-looking statements. Let's say.
Yes, literally that. And I say this because it gives you an opportunity. Like these are the opportunities to buy the dip. And and everyone was saying that during COVID, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Yeah, buy the dip. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, it's still going down. It's still going down. Well, in these case scenarios, these are awesome times to buy the dip for for certain aspects. Not everything, though. Because I'm not going to go and say go and buy the dip for something extremely volatile that popped to $10 when it was worth 2 cents prior.
Yeah, exactly.
It may be difficult to see it in outstanding times like that.
Well, I'd say a good way of looking at it is you want to continue your investing, because in these times is when your dollar cost averaging is worth so much more of your money, right? And you'll get so many more shares out of it. Don't sell, keep buying. That's the tried and true way of going forward during times like these.
I forget the term, but I'm sure I've said it on the podcast. I forget which famous person. I don't know if it was Rockefeller who said it.
Okay.
But when there's blood on the streets, we fight.
Oh, James Bond.
Was it that?
No, I don't know. I have no idea. But fair enough. Fair enough.
But in this case scenario for investing, basically what it means when the stocks are going down and everyone's panicking and they're selling, those are the times to be buying. And it's really tough, but you're able to go and get the biggest returns in those scenarios if you're able to not trust your gut, but not fall for your emotions.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. If you bought them while they were higher, it means you should definitely buy them while they're lower. Stop seeing it as your money and look at it as a buying opportunity. Hey, this here's on 80% discount. Now might be a good time to buy. If you see a discount on something, you're going to buy, right? You're not going to wait until it goes back up.
The other thing you got to go and see as well is if you're going to invest as well, it's also, especially during these times, to have a rainy day fund. So if you have your rainy day fund, fund it. I say it almost every second episode to have a rainy day fund, but a rainy day fund is more important than anything during these times because you don't know what's going to end up happening here.
Because the recession's like clouds in the sky. And what happens when there's clouds in the sky? It's a rainy day. It could be a rainy day, right?
It could be. It could very well be. You really don't know what's going to happen. So why are you going to stop investing during these times when your career is at risk, could potentially be at risk?
Oh, and what are you telling me here? My career?
You just never know.
No, you're right. And we are seeing, a huge change in the marketplace. Like I have a business trip coming up. And and it was before it was just do it, and now it's hold on, we got to get vice president approval first because of this reason and that reason. It's like, oh my goodness. So
there's a little bit more hoops to go through here.
People are tightening their grip on their money, man. Let me tell you.
So our last piece of information in regards to not stopping your investing is if you are still concerned about investing, go and do a safer approach. If you're so concerned, go and do a safer approach. Go and invest in dividend yielding stocks or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they're going to pay you for owning them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Plus whatever the cruiser goes down.
If they were able to weather the pandemic without skipping a beat on dividends, I'm pretty sure they're going to be able to pay you out.
Yeah, honestly.
So you should be good. You should be good.
And to minimize your risk, if you're concerned about risk, there's multiple ways you can do that. Do one that survived through multiple periods of downtime where the economy was down. If they survive through multiple waves, okay, maybe there's some reputation to them. Dividends, like you said, excellent point. And if you're really, really scared, go with something safe like a GIC. I don't know if that's a USA term as well. But if you're really scared, some performance is better than no performance at all.
A certificate. What do they call it? CD.
Yeah, CD. Yeah.
So It's correct. It's an awesome way to say it there. We were just saying dividend yielding, but there's also you can buy groups of stocks as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
Diversify into precious metals.
Never wrong.
Some people advocate for that.
Yeah.
And what's the... And if you have an auto investor bot, lower your risk tolerance. There's nothing you can change that, man. They'll do it for you.
For our second thing on what not to do during a recession, though, we got to go and hop into our second thing. We don't. You don't want to be taking on big purchases during a recession.
A car.
Yeah, especially right now with how cars are at all-time highs. That's the best time to purchase a car.
Well, the only thing that'd be worse than purchasing a car is financing a used car where the price just went all the way up on used cars. That'd be the worst, I think.
I thought you were. I was disappointed because I thought you were going to go and say a Sea-Doo or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. That would be worse. A used Sea-Doo that's gone all the way up in price.
But it's going to make it harder to pay back loans, especially if something does end up happening in this case scenario. You really don't know what the future holds. And if you're going to go and decide to go and take on a large loan, I have to go and add on the fact that if you decide to get a loan, especially right now, interest rates are very high. Yeah. So have fun dealing with that. It's not easy to deal with. And I'm not saying as a condescending way. It's just something to look out for.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Because it's not 5% interest is a lot. And this is just what's happening in Canada where we're starting to see certain rates.
Yeah.
And there's not really a sign in stopping right now where the government has even indicated that not the government, but the Fed has indicated, or the reserves is indicating, yeah, we're actually looking to make it go higher too.
Well, I had sent you a video a week or two ago, and it was talking about the impact of an interest rate. Let's say you go from an interest rate of 3% to 9% over 25 years. It doubles your payments. It doubles
oh my Lord,
your
yes.
actual payment. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
And that's why we were talking before the strike point. Where I'm pretty sure it's called the strike point.
Trigger rate.
Trigger point. Yeah, where they officially decide that they're going to recalculate your payments. And this is not just for a mortgage.
Renege on the deal, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And especially for larger loans, that's what ends up happening. So you don't want to be taking on bigger purchases during these times like this, because the last thing you want to do is to pass that strike point, and it becomes extremely difficult to renegotiate your loan.
And make sure that your rainy day fund includes any big purchases that you have, right? Because you'll have to maintain those, man.
Yeah, exactly that. And if you can't maintain that rainy day fund, and it means that you're not you're not paying yourself first, and you're buying something that you don't need. Yeah. And I'm not saying like buying a house is useless. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like you said, buying a brand new car, buying that off-road vehicle, buying a whole bunch of things that you don't actually need right now. You just don't know what to expect. And especially, I know that our audience is a lot younger. Mm-hmm. And they don't have a lot of experience. Mm. So it's important to be able to position yourself in the right place here.
Honestly. And you know, if you want to buy something, well, sacrifice 2 years, sacrifice 3 years, you know, of your whole lifetime. It doesn't represent much, but you could be saving yourself a boatload of trouble. Or a Sea-Doo load of trouble, depending on what your purchase is.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree with that. I couldn't agree with more. And I actually had it for my last point. Don't let your emotions control you. Stay vigilant and buy what you need. Only buy what you need.
I still almost can't forgive myself when my buddy, he's like, oh, I'm going to buy a VR kit. And I'm there, I'm looking, I'm like, whoa, he's going to have a VR kit. I kind of want one too. He almost got me into it. I talked to him a week or two ago, and he's like, no, I didn't end up buying it. I'm like, I was so close to buying one, and all of that. So emotional, you know, the emotions still is a huge factor no matter who.
Oh, my Lord, yes. That's why we always say it's always best to reflect on it for at least a week. And if you still really want it after a week, then consider it now.
Sure.
And
exactly.
for the bigger the purchase, the more time you should reflect on it. I would not go and say, hey, I want to buy a house. Think about it for a week. And then a week later, I still want a house. I should buy a house now.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit more than a week.
In fact, it's been a week. And I already got my pre-approval, so I'm already putting offers in, and I'm going. It's like, well, come on, is this really what you want to do? Jeez.
Our third thing here that you should not be doing is to not find other sources of income.
Do not find. So do find.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Right on.
I was looking at it because I said do not find other sources of income, and I was like, that is exactly that. Do not find.
You almost caught us with a double negative, Owen. Is this this is a test for the viewers, isn't it?
So try and find other sources of income. These are the best times to start rethinking your decisions and take action on the passions that you have.
True.
When I still kind of think it's funny as a streamer myself, during the start of the pandemic, the amount of people who started streaming was astronomical. Absolutely insane.
I can imagine.
But people got laid off. People had too much time on their hands. So streaming, they had no issues. That's the whole reason why computers were out of stock and everything.
Yeah. Oh, true. I remember that.
Yeah.
Graphics cards, man.
It was terrible. Horrendous. And in this case scenario, with the recession, people unfortunately start losing their jobs, and this also gives you an opportunity to create another avenue. So if something does end up happening, you're able to go and you're not at zero.
Yeah, and you certainly don't want to find yourself there.
No, and if you're doing something, you could double down at the same time.
True, and that's the thing, right? Let's say, God forbid, your position, your job, becomes vulnerable. What's next in the meantime? You know, there's got to be something else going on, and maybe just a quick tip is if you are starting, you know, it doesn't matter if you're starting. You can always position yourself, you know, and go from. You can always learn more and be more and more competent. And it makes me think of the quote of the day, which is from the legendary Sun Tzu, who was a war general, an Asian war general, and he wrote a book called The Art of War. Okay. Now, in The Art of War, he has a great takeaway for someone who's starting a side business, even if you're new to it. He says, if you are strong, appear weak. That way it's sort of managing expectations, right? But if you are weak, appear strong, which is the classic fake it till you make it scenario, right?
I love it. That's awesome. I like that a lot. That's really good.
And it's such a small book. I listened to it in an audiobook version. It's an hour audiobook. But every
You've recommended it to me.
Every sentence is just so profound that you have to listen to it so many times just to really seize the information. Just that that one quote alone, you can ponder on for a nice little bit, you know?
Oh yeah, it's definitely great. I like that saying quite a bit. Could you say it again?
Yeah, sure. It's if you are strong, appear weak, manage expectations, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if you are weak, appear strong. Fake it till you make it.
I love it. That is really good. That's probably one of my favorite quote of the days in a while.
Yeah, Sun Tzu, man, you can't go wrong with a quote from Sun Tzu. But anyways, I had to force that tangent so I could get that quote of the day.
No, it's okay. It worked out. So in this case scenario, for other sources of income, there are some things that you can get without having to have a lot of skill either. Okay. You could do Uber, drive people around. That doesn't take a lot of skills. If you have a vehicle, you can do it. You have Rover, dog walking, pet sitting, anything like that. It doesn't take a lot of skill to do something like that. Skip the dishes as well, delivering meals. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take a lot of skill. you get to figure out some ways to make extra money or additional money, like better routes, better planning, or anything like that. But you're able to go but you don't need a degree to do any of these things. And you're able to go and make more money on the side. Go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, if you have a Monday to Friday job as well, there's nothing wrong with getting a weekend job. If you're looking to diversify, if you're a little concerned, it doesn't matter what it is. You can go to a corner store and say, "Oh, how's business?" He's like, "Oh, it's hard to find people." You say, "Well, you know what? Maybe I could help out during weekends if you're interested."
For sure.
And all of a sudden, you're diversifying. You have two jobs, and you can secure yourself that way.
My dad in the 90s, I remember him telling me, this was before I was born.
Yeah.
And the mine that he worked for went on strike. And so he thought it would be something that'd be very done fairly quick. Well, this strike lasted over 6 months.
That's brutal.
And
6 months revenue loss?
Yeah.
Whew.
Really. Of course you have some union, like a strike pay, but it definitely doesn't match your salary.
Yeah.
And
especially
my
if
dad,
they're smart enough to compensate, like your compensation is half premium and half the base wage.
Yeah, but my dad at one point became a pizza delivery driver.
Yeah.
And he says, I had to make ends meet. And he says, yeah, it wasn't a lavish lifestyle, but I had a house. I just purchased my house. And he says, I had to make ends meet. And he says, so yeah, in my 20s, I went from being close to a 6-figure earner to a pizza delivery driver in days.
Yeah.
But he says, I had money put aside, rainy day fund, and I was able to weather the storm. And at one point they accepted, he pushed through it.
That's a very great use of rainy day fund and weather the storm. Nice.
I didn't even realize, but yes.
As soon as you said it, my eyes lit up. I'm like, ooh, very nice.
The third thing I have to say in regards to other sources of income is flipping becomes very attractive in this. And
okay,
hear me out.
Yeah.
This is something I thought of while I was writing the show notes here.
Yeah.
During recession, people need money.
That's
so
true.
they sell their things, and they can get you can get a good deal, or negotiate a good deal on items where you could flip them in return.
True, because people get more desperate, right? And they'll either neglect their research or neglect their negotiation because they don't want to lose out on cash.
Think about it. From 2 years ago, all the Sea-Doos, all of the boats, all the toys, all the things that people decided to purchase during the pandemic are going to want to try and... Yeah, there are going to be scenarios like that where people are going to...
Nowadays, I don't know if you agree, but it seems that people just want to do, I'll just take over my payments. What do you mean take over your payments? Hey, no. It's worth less than what you're at right now, buddy.
It's actually true. It's actually true. Some people ask you to take over their payments. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So you got to do your research too, right? If you do go out and get into flipping.
And I guess that actually ties in really well with one thing I wanted to say. I wanted to, when we were on our trip there to Kingston, like I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
I purchased some silver. I saw a dealer who was selling some silver. And when I was originally purchasing silver, I would say 2 years ago, before the pandemic and during the pandemic, I actually made good returns on the silver. I profited actually close to $10 an ounce on the silver.
Nice.
And which is unheard. Wow. Yeah, which is unheard of for precious metals.
Very nice.
But it was one of the things that I predicted, saying, you know what, like there was no company was manufacturing or anything like that. Everything was at a halt, so there was no demand for silver or gold. But so
no
immediately,
supply? There was no supply.
Well, there was no demand. Companies who manufacture like things like who actually need silver and gold for their products or anything like that were at a halt. So they did not need those supplies for the time being.
I see. Gotcha.
Manufacturers, well, I purchased a lot of silver and a lot of gold, and I had a pretty cool collection. And of course, because of all the panic, that caught up, and then the demand, like, companies started opening up again, and the price went, I think, from $15 an ounce all the way up to $40 an ounce.
Whoa!
Over time.
Oh my
so I
goodness.
averaged around I averaged $10 an ounce. And in this case scenario, I thought it would be great, and so I purchased this silver, and I bought around, and it was vintage. There were vintage coins, $50 for any Canadian, 50-cent coins. I bought 21 of them for $210. Well, I tried to sell them to make a profit, didn't sell. I tried batching them, didn't sell. I tried gathering them, did not sell, and I was really frustrated until I just sold them as a lot, which is usually the least profitable. Sure. And after shipping, the person basically sent me $211.
That's what's.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I technically lost money because I have to pay for shipping.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so I'm down like $10 overall. It's not a huge loss. But I'm open to share the loss that I had. But the economy isn't the same that I had 2 years ago.
Owen, I think you should have followed one of our very own principles.
What's that?
Don't panic sell. It'll go up. Man.
It wasn't the panic sell. It was just my intent was to flip for this. And when I go and hold, it's on premium silver. This was not premium silver. This is scrap silver, basically.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what I'm talking about, what you're talking
100%.
about. So I'll let you have the last word on this one.
No, it's all good. I for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a coin collector. I spend a lot of time, coin, banknote collector, all that kind of stuff. You want to talk about that kind of information with me? I've been doing it since I was a young teenager. So
yeah, I know you got some great insights, because at the end of the day, Owen likes to make money or collect it.
Or collect it, yes. So our fourth point here, and the fourth and fifth point tie in with one another.
Sure.
Before I go into the fourth point, though, I got to do a little plug-in.
Let's do it.
Will, you're looking at me. If you haven't done so, give us a 5-star review on Apple on Apple or Spotify, because it'd be greatly appreciated. It'd be awesome if you could do so. It helps with the algorithm and boosts us in the rankings. Honestly.
Yeah, it makes us more discoverable.
Exactly. And also, we have YouTube. If you want to see our faces, or you want to see what we have to talk about visually, we're both French people, so we talk with our hands quite a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it quite a bit of animated.
And my face, man, my face is like it's volatile. It's eyebrows going everywhere. It's smiles. It's teeth. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's an awesome way to go and look at the podcast for a visual. And if you're talking about visuals, go check out our Instagram as well, at College of Wealth Podcast on Instagram. For
visuals, I think that's where we're top notch, honestly. I really
awesome.
Like the layout of our Instagram.
Really good.
It's 3 posts sequenced, and the whole left column goes the same all the way down. It's what a treat.
It's clean.
It's
clean.
At. Yeah.
So I had to go and put in that plug-in for everyone here. So if you haven't done so, make sure to go and do that. But if you have already done, we move into number 4. And one thing that you should not do is to find yourself a position in the business with a risk that's very volatile.
Yeah. Say that one more time.
Find yourself a position in a business that's extremely volatile.
Yeah, do not do that. Do not do that.
There are riskier businesses to get into. So in this case scenario, if you are new and you're looking to find work, then that might be, if you can take what you can get, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But if you are more dependent, you have loans to pay, and a big scenario, like big factors considered, you have a family, more importantly, you have a family to help to cater to. Don't take that leap of faith, like a dangerous leap of faith like that. It's just dangerous.
You had your chance. It's not time to do it anymore.
I'm sure job security. Job security and recession don't go hand in hand for some sectors.
Yeah, it's so true. And there's no bigger risk than right now. If you take a leap, one, they might get rid of you. Mm-hmm. And two, going back, they're saying, well, actually, it was kind of good that you left because now there's some extra money on our heads. And they might not take you back. Who knows?
It's true. But there are some sectors that are more recession-proof than others.
Okay.
And I have the top 4 right here. And the first one, did you want to take a guess?
Steel mills. Specifically steel. Only
steel mills. Only steel. Only steel.
No, exactly. No, let's see. Not tech. Let's just go with mining.
Mining is very stable in this case, but you'll be surprised when I say this. You're going to be like, it's the government. The eye roll. Eye roll was so strong there. I bet you the listeners could hear your eye roll. Yeah. It was so strong.
No, it's true. There's no such thing as a government going under, man.
And if they are, there are huge issues, and I don't think any company is safe at that point.
If the government goes under, the country goes under, basically. So
yeah. So in this case scenario, government jobs are very safe.
Yeah, you're right.
Another field that's very safe is healthcare, and especially in the province that we live in, Ontario. Yeah. And I mean Ontario, but throughout Canada right now, they are literally crying for employees right now.
Well, they're taking people who aren't even graduated yet, and they're saying, all right, look, we'll close the gap real quick. I know you're not technically one, but I think you can help us out here. And then they're getting...
Sees the 6-year-old, you're a brain surgeon today, son.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, did you have interest in that at any point in your life? Yeah. Sound like a good match, honestly. No, it's brutal. They're even people who are retiring. They're like, "Hey, remember us, man? Would you mind coming in?"
75 years
shift?
Old. For a triple. But that's the reality of it. So healthcare is in huge demand, huge. The other sector that I thought was really interesting is IT. IT is also very strong. And it was something I saw, but I was like, it's true. We need IT people.
And the pandemic only increased that because all the companies elevated their digital presence to a next level. So no doubt IT is huge demand.
Huge. So, and last but not least is education.
Oh, sure. Very essential.
You are not going to lay off all the teachers in the middle of a semester. That just doesn't sound like it works too well.
Well, you do that, and you're laying off your kids' education, basically? It doesn't sound likely. And what are universities going to do? Say, hey, we're no longer teaching your course? Yeah, no, that's lawsuit central, man.
I mean,
You said
I
it,
agree.
Government. You said it, Owen. Government is stable. Education and government.
There's one sector I did not include in this that I saw online, that I didn't see online, that I have to include as well. Well, you could say mining, yes. Mining is good.
I agree, Owen. It's pretty stable.
Well, for anyone we've said it many times on the podcast, mining is really good, but that was not the one I was going to talk about.
Okay.
But mining is really good because, exactly like we were saying, gold and silver is a hedge against inflation. Yeah. Typically considered a hedge against inflation, so people invest in that kind of stuff during those times. And the city that I like, my hometown, it is a massive gold producer. So during the 2008 recession, the city that I lived in actually boomed.
It's so cool to see.
It's so wild. And I've heard stories in universities saying that people saying like their parents were worried about work or getting laid off. And meanwhile, we're here and the housing prices were going up.
Yeah.
Everyone, the managers are getting bonuses. Everyone is getting salary increases and everything. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing.
No, it's crazy. Like, if you want to talk stability, the great point. I'm glad you brought it up, Owen.
But I'm not saying that mining is a safe career.
Oh, sure.
Mining,
no.
It has its volatility. So I've seen many times, like I said, my dad, there was a union. They lay off people. Things go downhill. Your job is at risk. I've seen many times of people, the mine shuts down or anything like that. Yeah. It happens. But the one section I wanted to talk about is trades.
Oh, yes. No
trades
doubt.
is in huge demand, whether it be United States or Canada or anywhere around the world. It is in huge demand.
Yeah, you can't recess plumbers out of existence. When there's a plumbing problem, there's a plumbing problem, man.
And with the amount of houses that we're needing right now,
yeah,
they need them. They need them big time.
Any plumbers, electricians, bricklayers, sorry.
Masons.
You name it, man. Yeah, exactly.
And our last section here, our fifth point here, things that you should not be doing during a recession. And we've said it countless times during this episode, and it's not to take your job for granted.
Yeah, true.
Do not. In 2008 alone, 2.6 million jobs were lost in the United States.
That's
2.8 million. That is huge. How many families does that affect? A lot.
My God. Yeah, true. If you think about it as families, it's even worse. Whoa. Huh.
That's a huge blow right there. So don't take that job for granted. Be appreciative of it. And take any opportunity that you can. Make yourself more employable. Educate yourself. Do the training that they're asking of any kind. Like I said, the company I work for has training, and I've been training on learning Power BI.
Oh, nice.
And I think that's on my sideline, on the side time, which I think is awesome. And it makes me more employable. And I've been looking online as well, just for my positions. They're looking more and more for people who have Power BI skills.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, and that's the thing too, is if you think that your job might be at risk, okay, what are you doing to develop yourself, to make yourself more attractive, you know?
Exactly.
So you should not ignore the opportunity for training.
Yes. Yes.
Whew. Hey, man, that took a lot out of me.
The other thing to take into consideration here is to stay connected. And when I say connected, your supervisors and your managers.
Oh,
do not be
in line with them.
Yeah, don't be on their bad side here.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to be on their bad side. Stay well connected with them. And I'm not saying to be friends with them and always hang out with them. That'd just be weird. Like, no. I'm not saying, just don't disregard the connections that you build in the company as well. Because at that point, they may see you as more valuable at that point.
Yeah, and if you're ever feeling like, if you're ever thinking, well, you know what, maybe I should be grateful, but really I don't care about my job. Okay, donate your put your next 2 paychecks 100% into your investments. You won't lose your money; it's in your investment, but you can get a taste of what it's like to not have that money and have to dig into your emergency.
Oh, I like
account.
that. Well, it's funny. It's funny because I literally said in these case scenarios, save more frequently, ensure that you do, in case that you do lose your job.
Right.
So double down on your saving. And in the case scenario that you do end up losing your job, you will get what the countries have been trying to do for the last year, have a soft landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. For anyone who's listening in, Owen's doing quotations.
Quotations. Have a soft landing.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly it. Like
So
in this case, if you put money aside, you are going to have a softer landing. It's never going to be. It's not going to be as easy. It's never easy losing a job or losing your career, but it's a lot easier losing your job when you have money in the bank than if you don't.
Well, speaking of soft landing, like it's hard to manage a soft landing for an entire country, but you can manage your own soft landing. And
yes.
I think that's the great takeaway at the end of the day is you are in control of your finances. There's things you can do today to secure your entire future. Whether it's diversifying, whether it's not making a big purchase, whether it's putting more aside, you can absolutely control your finances and make sure that whatever's coming up next, it's like walking on a soft carpet.
I laugh because I was like, I literally was reading this one report. I guess this person was an economist, and they asked her certain questions about dealing with the recession. And she says, I'm a little bit more conservative. And she says, I recommend during recessions to save around 12 to 24 months of income. I'm like, whoa. That is a year to 2 years.
Of income.
Of income. I was like, how do you, like for someone who's making $100,000 a year, you're going to have $100,000 in rainy day fund to $200,000. I'm not dissing the person by any means here. You play conservative, that's totally fine. But that is $100,000 to $200,000 that you could have invested on the side. And her reasoning was that it could be, it takes a little bit longer than 3 to 6 months to find a job. What type of job are you looking for?
Yeah, what are you going for? Like, apply. Like, if you lose your job, you just take whatever job's available, right?
And work your way back.
Yeah, exactly. And you say, oh well, it's just something that I had to do, and then you hop back into your industry. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
But my goodness, don't look for the. Okay, last tip. Don't be too stingy if you're looking for another job in times of recession. My God.
In these case scenarios, yeah, don't do something like that. There,
say yes. Just say
yes. Yes, and then build your way back up again. It's best. Exactly. I'd rather take a retail job and then find a job in my career just to have something coming in than to have nothing at all.
Honestly, and it, everyone needs it. Like every town needs a retail store with stocked shelves and cashiers. These are all essential people, crucial, and you can be one of them if need be. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's an awesome way to wrap things up here for the podcast. Yeah. This is so that is episode 108. What not to do during a recession. And a different take, a different spin on recession here. Everyone's like how to invest in a recession and all that. No, we're going to talk about what not to do here.
Yeah, lots of faux pas there.
So with that being said, my name is Owen Parody. I'm here with my co-host William Goulet, and we're proud to present to you the College of Wealth podcast. Peace.
Salut la visite.
This has been your daily dose of motivation with the College of Wealth podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for listening, and until next episode.